The morning of May 27, 2016 began like any other day, but for 42-year-old businessman Yogesh Batra, it would be his last. At dawn, his wife, Priyanka, suddenly screamed from their bedroom, her voice full of terror. She rushed into the living room, frantically shouting that something terrible had happened to her husband. Yogesh was lying motionless in bed, unresponsive to her calls. Priyanka, visibly distressed, claimed that he had suffered a heart attack in his sleep. She cried out for help, but her panic spread quickly through the house, alerting neighbors and family members. Yogesh's father, a doctor, was called to the scene. He checked his son's body and immediately recognized the telltale signs of a heart attack. Yogesh's condition seemed to confirm his suspicions. His lifeless body was soon rushed to the hospital. But despite efforts to revive him, the doctors confirmed the worst. Yogesh had passed away. What followed was a swift funeral, a grieving widow, and a family left in shock. But what seemed like a tragic accident, an unforeseen death of a healthy man, would soon reveal a much darker truth, one of betrayal, greed, and murder. This is the chilling tale of how a wife's hidden desires led to the brutal slaying of a man she had once vowed to love and cherish. Yogesh Batra's life was one many admired. A successful entrepreneur in the plywood industry, he had built a prosperous business from the ground up. At just 42 years old, he was not only a successful businessman, but also a devoted father and a loving husband. He and his wife, Priyanka, appeared to have the perfect marriage, one that many envied. The couple had 2 children, and on the outside, everything seemed ideal. Yogesh was in excellent health. He was strong, active, and had no history of heart problems. It was a shock to everyone when Priyanka claimed that he had died from a heart attack, especially given his apparent good health. Yet, despite the family's suspicions, Priyanka convinced them to forego a post-mortem. She argued that there was no need for one, as there was no legal requirement. Grief-stricken, Yogesh's family reluctantly accepted her wishes. But, as time went on, questions began to linger in the hearts of Yogesh's parents. Priyanka's behavior, so soon after her husband's death, felt off. Something about her demeanor didn't sit right with them. They could not shake the feeling that there was more to this than met the eye. It wasn't just the grieving father who began to question the circumstances surrounding Yogesh's sudden death. His mother, a woman in her mid-60s, was tormented by a series of unsettling dreams. Every night, she dreamt of her son. But these were no peaceful dreams. They were visions of Yogesh's restless spirit. In each dream, he appeared to tell her that he hadn't died of a heart attack. He seemed to be trying to send a message, a warning from beyond the grave. Initially, Yogesh's mother brushed off these dreams as the effects of her profound grief. After all, losing a child is an unimaginable pain, and perhaps it was her subconscious mind trying to process the trauma. But as the dreams persisted, they began to disturb her deeply. Unable to ignore them, she shared the details of her dreams with her husband. Yogesh's father, a man of logic and reason, was initially skeptical, dismissing it as the product of sorrow. But as the dreams continued, he couldn't help but feel that they were something more, an omen, perhaps, that his son's death was not what it seemed. As the days passed, Priyanka's behavior only grew more suspicious. While her father-in-law struggled to come to terms with his son's death, Priyanka seemed to move on with unsettling speed. Within weeks of her husband's funeral, she took charge of Yogesh's business empire. Without any hesitation, she became the director of the company and completed all the necessary paperwork to take full control of Yogesh's wealth. The process was unnervingly smooth, almost as if she had been preparing for this moment. Then came an even more baffling decision. Priyanka sent her 2 children away to a boarding school in Dehradun, far from home. This, coming so soon after Yogesh's death, seemed cold and calculated. How could a grieving mother make such a decision so quickly? Why was she so eager to have her children out of the picture? These actions raised red flags, and Yogesh's parents couldn't ignore them any longer. They became convinced that something was not right. In desperation, Yogesh's father, now in his 70s, decided to take action. He went to the local police station in Haryana and filed a formal complaint urging them to look into his son's death. He pointed out the rushed funeral, the absence of a post-mortem, and the strange behavior exhibited by Priyanka. He believed that his son had been murdered, but the police, dismissing his concerns, reassured him that it was just a case of an old man refusing to accept his son's passing. They filed a report, but nothing more came of it. Feeling helpless and frustrated by the lack of action, Yogesh's father knew he would have to take matters into his own hands. He sought the help of private detectives, men who could investigate the truth where the police would not. The detectives began their work digging into the details of Yogesh's life. They discovered that Priyanka and Yogesh had met years earlier during their college days. Priyanka had been a beauty queen, winning titles like Miss Delhi, and her charm had captivated Yogesh. With the blessing of their families, they married, and soon they had 2 children. On the surface, their marriage appeared perfect, but as the detectives dug deeper, they uncovered a shocking truth. Priyanka had been involved in an affair with Rohit Kumar, a gym trainer. What had started as a simple fitness relationship had blossomed into a full-blown affair. In 2015, Priyanka joined a gym to lose weight where she met Rohit. Over time, their relationship grew stronger, and Priyanka began seeing him in secret. In January 2016, Yogesh caught Priyanka and Rohit together in a compromising position. Furious, he confronted both of them and threatened to take legal action. He demanded that they end the affair immediately or face the consequences. For a while, it seemed like the affair was over, but Priyanka had other plans. Yogesh had made it clear he would file for divorce, which would mean losing everything: his business, his wealth, and the comfortable lifestyle she had become accustomed to. Priyanka realized that her only way out was to eliminate her husband once and for all. She confided in Rohit, and together they devised a chilling plan to murder Yogesh and inherit everything. They needed help, and so they enlisted 2 accomplices: Sonu, a hospital assistant, and Satish Kumar, a man whom Rohit owed money. In exchange for their silence and help in executing the crime, Priyanka and Rohit offered them a sum of money, 6,000 rupees each. On the night of May 27th, the plan was set in motion. Priyanka picked up Sonu and Satish from a nearby location and drove them to Yogesh's house, where they waited outside. Rohit joined them soon after, and Priyanka, acting as though everything was normal, went upstairs to wait for her husband to fall asleep. Once Yogesh was deep in sleep, Priyanka signaled for the men to enter. Sonu had brought a syringe filled with a sedative, intending to incapacitate Yogesh, but when they tried to inject him, he woke up, and the struggle began. Yogesh fought back violently. In the chaos, the syringe broke, and the murderers were left with no choice. They smothered him with a pillow, ensuring he would never wake up. Priyanka quickly staged the scene to make it look like a natural death. She cleaned up the room and waited for morning to break. When the sun rose, she began her act, screaming for help and claiming that her husband had died suddenly of a heart attack. The deception was perfect. The family believed her, but deception has a way of unraveling, especially when fueled by greed and arrogance. While Priyanka's act initially convinced the family, her behavior in the weeks that followed betrayed her. She moved on with alarming speed, taking control of Yogesh's business and making bold, calculated decisions that raised eyebrows. Her lack of visible grief and her choice to send her children away were just the beginning. What truly sealed her fate was the trail of evidence left behind: phone records, location data, and her frequent contact with Rohit during the night of Yogesh's death. It was this mounting evidence, combined with the relentless determination of Yogesh's father, that brought Priyanka and her accomplices to justice. The truth could no longer be hidden, and the courtroom echoed with the chilling details of the crime: a wife, a lover, and 2 accomplices conspiring to take the life of an innocent man for wealth and freedom. On August 6, 2021, Priyanka, Rohit, Sonu, and Satish were sentenced to life imprisonment, finally giving Yogesh's family a sense of closure. Yet, the scars of this betrayal remain, a haunting reminder of the lengths some will go for their desires. If you found this story gripping, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more true crime stories. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and remember, trust is a fragile thing. Thank you for watching.